Hey cat fans, today I'm back with another tutorial video, and this time I'm going to be teaching you how to make your own art style. I will leave the links to these bases in the description below in case you would like to try these things out for yourself. So let's get started with this tutorial. By the way, I am using SKETCHPAD. I will leave the link to that application in the description below. It is a website that you can use online. Just a very simple, quick tutorial today. But if you are struggling to find your own art style, I will help you out. Or if you don't have an art style yet, or if you want to find a new art style, I will help you out on the different ways that I use to find my own art style. Because sometimes it's nice to change things up for once. So, as you can see, we have many cat bases here, and go ahead and try these out for yourself. But when I'm trying to find a art style, it's nice to use some of these. But I am going to use this one first. I'm just going to simply put this here for us. By the way, I did not make this. This is an image, and I will leave the link below. But go ahead and check it out. So when you're trying to find your art style, you want to probably try to find a base. It's very convenient to start off with. And you can find bases online just by looking up cat sketch bases, word cat bases, anything like that. But when trying to find your own art style, you want to find different characteristics that define your characters. By that, I mean, sometimes I use hair for my cats. Depending on the different cat, I put hair on them. Like that. And I will show you with this here. What I would do is I would simply put a little bit of hair on the cat. It's like a little point that defines my characters. And so you also want to find other points. The next point is the eyes. Sometimes people have different ways of drawing their eyes on their cats. And I do kind of too. So I will show you what I do for my cat. There are many different ways, but I'm going to erase this eye because I do not like this eye. I do not know. But that could be your kind of style there, so go ahead and keep that if you want your style to just be like that. But how I draw my eyes is I draw half a circle, more like a semicircle. I know that's kind of big, but mine are kind of mango-like. And then we draw the pupil. Sometimes I add just a little dot, a white dot, to indicate some shine. But that's how I draw mine. Sometimes I close the circle up when I need to fill things in. But usually in regular sketches and drawings, I do a semicircle. I don't know if anybody that does that. Go comment down below if you do this too. I just like it a lot. And I filled that in, as you can see. But, and I also add a little mouth to my cats. Like, it doesn't connect to the muzzle, it's just out there. It indicates some mango-like features. So you can have different ways of drawing your mouths. One kind of unique thing that I have going on is first I start out with this kind of template here. I know it looks pretty bad, but I'm just using this to show you kind of what I do. And then I go down, and then I kind of curve this. It's not a straight line, it's kind of like a curve. And then I might add a tongue or something like that to it. It depends. It depends a lot. So something like that. Or you could just have a simple mouth like that with a few whiskers or something. It depends on what you want. But as you can see, I just added a little line there for indicating the mouth. And you might also have different ways of showing your tail. Usually on most of my cats, even if they are, if they are short hair, I will usually keep the tail like this. But if they are long-haired cats, I like to really indicate the bushiness of the tail. And I will show you what I mean by that. I will go ahead and erase this tail. Like if you want a short-haired cat, I guess you could keep that, but when indicating my long-haired cats' tails, I do something pretty different. So what I like to do is, I will show you here. It completely depends on what you want, though. Okay, I'm just gonna add 3.5, but I really branch off. I don't like that. I need a thinner line there. 2.3 pixels. So I really indicate my bushiness by adding these little tufts of fur along. I know this, I'm not sure if this is a long-haired cat or not, I'm just showing you the example. I like to add these nice little curves to my tail. And other times it depends also. On the cat's attributes, the cat's emotions, depending on those kinds of things, I might make those curves spikier than normal. Like this. Which, as you can see on a lot of my drawings, I use the curves. Sometimes I also use these spikes. It depends on the cat's emotions for me. If the cat is angry or if the cat is ready to fight, ready for a battle, usually I use these spikes. But if it's just using those curls, I would say that they are calm and relaxed, just a normal cat. So that's just a simple little sketch there of my bushy tail. I'm going to use the spikes for this one because this cat is ready for battle. And this is a completely different episode that I will make on how to sketch your cat. And I will show you how to do that some other time. But the sketch is already ready for me. And so those are some very simple traits that I use. I also like to add on my long-haired cats, I also like to add these tufts of fur to their ears, and there's usually 2 tufts of fur that indicates a cat. You can also use 1 tuft of fur, like 1 long strand, like that. It completely depends, like I said, on your cat's characteristics and stuff. I also like to add, on the inside of the ear, these very small indications of fur, like that. And I also like to add on the female cats, I add a little line here. I just think it really defines them. So that would be a female cat, but for a male cat, I usually add these really bushy eyebrows. That didn't look so great, but I'm going to see if the cat's a male cat. I'm just going to add a little brow fur. Just like that. And I really indicate my cat's cheeks a lot. So I'm going to add a little bit more fur than it was showing in the base. It completely depends though, like I said. And it also, you can change your cat up by how well they groom their fur, or if they are like battle happy, or if they're very aggressive. You might want to add little lumps of fur, or little clumps, little mats of fur in their tail. Or also you can add them along the body too, a little bit. Don't add too many though, or else your cat will look like a bush. Do not do that. It won't look very well. Unless you absolutely want to. That could be another characteristic that defines your cats. Also, by the armpits of my cats, I like to add some fur here. Just a very light indication of fur. Not too much, or it'll get out of hand. And also, I also like to add a lot of chest muscle, chest fur, which is already in this base. I also like to add some indications of muscle in my cats, if that's how they are, but other times I won't add that. But you can add some simple lines here, indicating the muscular. And cats have muscles on this point here of their hind legs. Makes you really indicate that. I know they do. Sometimes cats that are very athletic, very skilled, they have a line of muscle right here on their front legs, and I'm going to add that just a little bit. And here I like to add just a little line indicating that the cat's paw is kind of bent down just a tad bit. So I'm going to add that on these. By the way, this is not my best drawing, no. This is not. I'm starting with a base to show you what it's like. And so those are some characteristics that can define your cat. Like I said, or the nose, for the nose on my cats, or if they are facing towards the audience or towards the portrait, I will add a little nose bump here to indicate some kind of 3D texture there. And then they have like their mouth over here or something. I like to add that little bump there. Like I said, and you can be gender specific, and you can add different kinds of characteristics to the different kinds of genders of cats. Like I said with my male, add the fur over here on the brow, or you can add that little line like I did to the eye, or you can add both of those to both genders of cats. It doesn't really matter. And yeah, so now we're going to go ahead and get rid of this. And I would like to show you some of these bases. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna just move this to the front. And I should be sending this forward. I'm just going to completely wipe this stuff out. Go ahead and skip ahead if you don't want to see this. Okay. Now let's go ahead and kind of move this up to the front here. Okay. I just wanted to show you some of the sketches of bases that you can use. Okay. So like these, I will put the link in the description for these too. You might want to start off with some of these. They indicate the different kind of positions that your cats might be in. And go ahead and try your art styles on these kinds of models here. So we have standing, kind of standing there, sitting, half laying, protective, defensive, scared, stretching, those kinds of things. But to show you an example here, I am going to use this simple standing one. Do what I'm doing, by the way, if you use the same application. And go ahead and take one of these figures and try to put your own art style on it. It's a great way to practice building your art style. So you have this one figure right here. And you could go ahead and practice on it like I will show you here. But this is a great way to build your art style. And then from there, you can start sketching your own stuff onto it. I'm going to go ahead and make this way larger than it is. I'm going to go ahead and crop this. Okay, so as you can see, we have this one sketch here, like this, and you might want to also add your art style to this sketch here. Go ahead and make it larger too if you want to go ahead and practice your art style on it. But, you know, add some ears, add some tail to it, stuff like that, but simple, very simple to practice your art style. And another video, I will also add how to build on your art style, how to make your art style better, how to sketch your cats, how to add sketches to your cats, stuff like that. So stay tuned for those kinds of videos. And this is it for this episode. Go ahead and use those bases down below. Keep living with the dark forest.